just to continue with this image because it's so nice to look at, I'm going to talk about layer styles next, which is this FX button down here. And then we're going to talk about fill and adjustment layers, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, now, let's say that I throw in just a geometric object here, and I'm going to set it to a shape. And I'm just, boom, there it is. Okay. Doesn't matter what, just something to mess around with. Go back to the move tool, I'm going to put it up here. And these layer styles are awesome because they allow us to do some really cool special effects. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to raise this up because the menu hangs down below the screen. So now we have blending options. We talked about that here a little bit. Let's go ahead and get to the fun stuff. Bevel and emboss. A lot of these make for very cool 3D, fake 3D looks. Bevel and emboss makes it look like it's either punched out of the screen or recessed into the screen. So we can do a size here. We can do smooth. See how that's looks like it's kind of sticking out. We can change the angle. I always go with 130. Well, not always, but a lot of times I'll go with 135. So the light looks like it's not coming from directly overhead. Now it looks like it's coming from overhead and a little bit to the left. But that you don't have to do that. It's whatever works best for you. It's just I've noticed that I've kind of fallen into that rut. We can do outer bevel, which makes it look like the whole thing is punchy and distorting the image behind it. Inner bevel we've already seen. We can do an emboss, which is kind of splitting the difference there. We can do a pillow emboss, which looks like it was stamped into the image. That's one of my favorites. And then a stroke emboss, which really in this case isn't going to do anything. We can change the depth. Well, first of all, let's go ahead and change that. So there's the depth. Up or down depends on which way the light, reverses the way the light's shining. The size changes the slope. Now it looks like more like it's a cone. Now it looks like a flattened bottle cap. Softened. The more you do that, the more. Let's try to speed it up. Yeah, it just where the curve actually occurs, it makes it more of a gradual slope, as you can imagine. Angle we've already talked about. Attitude. That's not one I have to mess with too often, but that kind of moves the beveled contour shape inward a little bit. You can actually change the contours as well. Just experiment with these. That's one people use the most. Anti-aliased, that'll give you some better results. I don't know why that was unchecked in the first place. Screen, a lot of these you'll never really have to mess with. And I was going to say, messing with it is not something you really want to do anyhow, because you might get some bad results like I just did and then wonder what it was before. So if you're going to mess around with these, and you should, then make sure that you either remember what you had before or hit cancel, so that you don't wind up making a permanent something that you don't want. Shadow mode. So that's more fun to explore. The next thing that people use a lot for a fake 3D look is called the drop shadow. And the drop shadow, go ahead and go down here, make sure that's activated as well. And that makes it look like it's floating above in front of the screen. And by using global light, it'll use the light from whatever other effects are used. Spread makes it spread out a little bit more. And the size, obviously, change the size. There we go, kind of a soft shadow here. And the opacity, notice how that's turned completely black. Turn that down for less of a harsh light there. Distance up just a little bit there. So, and let's bring the size back down just a little bit. You can really get some nice effects that way. See how it looks like it's floating in front of the screen now, as well as being embossed. So that is the basics of two of the most common layer styles, and I'll do some more here in just a bit.